about the Youth Fund. I don't know, the Youth Fund has done this and that and the other. And I wish the Youth Fund CEO had been able to join us today.
Yes.
I read
the
immediate former CEO.
Yes.
And I read that they have trained they have provided loans to, I think, 880,000 young people. I want to know whether anybody here received those loans.
Mlipewa loan na Youth Fund?
Nani ashapewa loan na Youth Fund? Just to start your business. No.
Okay.
About 360,000 are supposed to have received some kind of entrepreneurship training. And then about 20,900 were found for jobs abroad, and they went abroad. So I look at these statistics and say, is this really true? I don't know. If he had been here, he would have told us. But I wonder, because we keep talking about the youth are our future, the youth, we need them. But every place where we should be investing in young people, investing in people, we are not. We're investing in, for example, SGR. Now there's a JKIA expressway, which is supposed to come and go all the way from Lolongo to James Gishuru. We are not investing in people, we are investing in things. Somehow thinking that those things, that the infrastructure is what is going to boost the economy. Meanwhile, you're jobless. 85% of you are jobless. So this is a significant problem.
We've been told that for example, the SGR, the expressway are long-term projects. Probably that also applies to the employment of youth. Our employment is a long-term project. We'll be employed at 60. But, but still on employment, there's something, as in when people look forward to being employed, right? Is it is it really what we should look forward to? Because as we were speaking earlier, you told me that you've worked for 23 years, but you still are not where you would wish to be.
Yes, I've been in formal employment of one kind or another for the past 22, 23 years, and I'm still struggling. And I think it is time that even those of us who are in our 40s, in our 50s, admit that there's a massive economic downturn in Kenya. People are struggling. And it's not to say, haki woye unihurumie, please employ me as Mary Wamboi to continue heading up. No, no, no. I'm not making a case for old people to remain employed forever at your expense, but to say the country is in trouble. And when you unpick the kind of economic trouble that we are in as Kenyans today, you will be more clearly able to understand why there are no jobs available for young people. Even these, the expressway and the SGR, who is going to be driving on that expressway? You're investing in infrastructure for who to use if we don't have jobs, if we don't have money,
it will be a footbridge.
If our business, and it will be a footbridge, the most expensive footbridge in the world, because simtalipa 300 bob kutumia your footbridge from JKIA to James Gishuru. So we are investing in the wrong things as far as I'm concerned. This government is busy servicing the needs and the requirements of private sector. We worship a God called Chinese loans. We are putting our money in places where we shouldn't be. But of course, private sector is not going to turn around and say, oh, come on, don't make business easy for us here. Don't help us with this or that or the other and make Kenya a flourishing environment for our business. Of course not. They're happy. Private sector is happy to be here and to make money. So I don't even fault the private sector. I fault our government and say our government has failed to effectively invest in young people. But young people are the first ones to be called to demonstrations, so that when that bullet flies, it hits you first. Yeah? And when you die, and your parents who invested in your education, who sold mpaka their last, I don't know what, to send you to school, nobody will take your body in a helicopter home at Uzikwe. So young people are used for the wrong things in this country. Young people are seen as a nuisance, as people who should hurry up and find a job. Mbona unanisumbua hapa ati sijui huna airtime, sijui huna pesa za hii. It is the worst kind of stigma that has been placed on young people in Kenya today. And the only people who will change that conversation, change that narrative, transform that thinking are the young people themselves. Mind you, if 85% of those unemployed happen to be young, then look at the demographics. If we ever finish, you know, our census says we count and then we don't get results. So tuna estimate, are we 40 million, are we 45 million? So let's say we are 50 million. What percentage of that 50 million happen to be under the age of 35? You will discover that it is a vast majority.
Okay.
And we have a responsibility, therefore, as the majority, to step up and speak for ourselves and stop being constantly used and misused for short-term selfish interests by those who are very comfortable in their houses with their jobs, those people who are telling you go and be self-employed and they have never been self-employed in their lives. And not all of us want to be self-employed. But we don't have enough jobs for those who want to be employed. We don't have enough credit facility and facilitative environment for those who want to start their own businesses.
Okay. We have two problems right now, evidently. One, employment is in crisis.
Yes.
People are on the verge of being fired. Unemployment is on the rise. Na bado wanatuongeza wengine. Like, it's like, tunafinyana kwa hii box and it's like, bado, you can still take more, right? This begs the question of the people who actually made me feel the need to do this show. The people who are always like, hey, get me a job. And they believe that I can do that. So I can stretch my hand. I don't think I can stretch my hand to maybe come through for everyone. But what would be the best solution for everyone watching, anyone who, people who can't even reach me, for example, who is actually in need of a job? What's the way forward? Because even expert economics have already said that we are in a mess that cannot be reversed.
You see, the prognosis is not very good. The outlook is not very good.
Or outlook in your prognosis?
In some ways. I'm trying to be cleverer. Unakumbuka your guest last week. I'm trying, what word was he using? That
Oppugnancy.
Oppugnancy.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking for that word, but it never came to me. Oppugnancy. No. But what I want to say is that young people reaching out to you for jobs, also to me and to so many others, have been socialized in a climate where kupata job ni hookup. Somebody tells you, you have a relative, you have a friend. It's part of how business is even done in government, how people get contracts and people are able to. So there's that one feeling of, yeah, maybe Dr. Kingori can hook me up. Maybe he knows me, I'm active on his social media page. I'm really desperate. Let me see if he can hook me up. But the other level is just flat out desperation. When you're desperate, you will ask anywhere, you will ask anybody, you will reach out and say, I'm here, I'm desperate, I'm looking for work. Now, what is the solution? You see, there are no jobs sitting around somewhere hidden. Yes, there are those old people who continue to get jobs. But even if we removed all those old people who are in jobs, the jobs are still not enough for the current population. And so it comes back to the fact that the government has failed to invest in public solutions. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if there is an issue with jobs, there are not enough jobs for young people. What are we supposed to be investing in publicly as a government? Is it mentorship? Is it looking at facilities that will allow people to access credit? Is it coaching? What is it that is actually required? Even as we look at our industries, at our employment sector, at our non-formal sector. By the way, the non-formal sector is the biggest employer in Kenya today. In fact, if somebody was watching, if any of you were watching Dr. David Ndei last week on Anki Guta's show, sorry, should I be mentioning other stations?
No,
it's okay.
It's the wicked edition.
It's a wicked edition, so we can even cross-reference shows.
Yes.
He gave a fantastic summary. I encourage everybody to listen and read Dr. Ndei whenever you can. And he explains very clearly how it is that the government has failed to do its investment in a direction that would allow young people eventually to flourish in the job market, whether it is in the formal sector or in the informal sector. And as he said, and many other economists have said, we have slid down too far in this hole. We are not going to be able to come out of it. If you look at our debt, if you look at our deficit, and you see the parliament was trying to raise it to 9 trillion. 9 trillion ni nini? Who can even count what a billion is, never mind a trillion? 9 trillion. And then we're expecting this government to turn around.
Count 9 billion.
Trillion.
Josephine Kafura.
Can you
Counting. Okay.
Yeah. So the solution for those looking for work, I would always say, if I had a chance to meet with them, I would say, I know it's difficult. I know even where I'm seated right now, I cannot offer you something.
Yes.
But don't stop thinking in your mind, innovating, planning. Do you want to be self-employed? If it is self-employment, what type of business idea did you have in your mind? You don't stop thinking. Don't become paralyzed. Of course, it's hard to think when your stomach is empty or when you can't pay rent or somebody is sick. But don't stop thinking. Don't stop hoping. But I will not lie and say that things are good. Things are not good. Things are extremely bad in Kenya today.
And there is no hope even for proposals like by Jaguar, as one of our audience member had asked, of bringing the retirement age down, so that we can be, you know, if someone retires at 50, oh, that's also a problem. We have more young people without jobs.
Well, because these young people, these people who think when they are 78 or 75 or 85, they are still young people. When they are 90, 93, they are still young people. For sure, if you make me retire in 5 years' time, because that's when I'll be 50, then I will say, I still have children in school, I still have some things to pay, I still have this and that and the other to do. So I don't know that that is exactly the solution. And as I said earlier on, even if you made all the people retire, but that said, I don't think the retirement age should be bumped up. And if you dig deeper, why they have been pushing the retirement age up is because what Wamekula funds are pension. And they don't yet know how to pay out or service the pensions for these people who have been working for 30, 35 years. That's another story for another show. You can bring experts to talk about it. So I heard somewhere that the reason why they moved up, the reason, but the scandals, some of these scandals are in broad daylight. If you had a look at what was happening with NSSF money, etc., etc. So I'm retiring and I'm waiting for my handshake. I have a relative, I think, who worked for the prisons for many, many years. And when she retired, she had to almost get hold of a lawyer to get her pension. And she had been there since the 1970s, or is it the 1980s? So maybe they're also happy to have people keeping on working while they're trying to figure out what to do with these monies which are missing in action.
Could it be that hawa wazee wanaitwa kazi, wanaweza kuwa people who have retired, wakienda kuitisha pension wanaambia kuja uendelee na job, tukikutafutia kitu?
Sitaweza kudhibitisha because I have not done my homework completely on that. So I'm giving you anecdotal information on that. But you don't know why. But I don't think the retirement age should go from 55 to 60 to 65 to 70. At some point, you should be able to retire. If it was 55, let it be capped at 55. If it was 60, let it be capped at 60.